Okay, when you say ellipse, correct? If it's of this formula, first thing you have to know that this is the axis of symmetry. Okay, so that means the left-hand side and the right-hand side are exactly the same. So that means the area, the sitting place, correct, actually is divided into 4 equal rectangles. So as long as I find the area of this rectangle, whereby the width is x and the height is y. So from here to here is x, and from here to here is y. Okay? So 4 times of x times y, I will get the area of the sitting place. Do you get me? So from here, I analyze that the area is 4 times of x times y. And I told you before that when we want to find in terms of x, correct? So that's why in the first place, the first part of the question, they ask you to write y in terms of x. Here is not, y is not the subject, okay? So now we are going to write y as a subject for the first part. So indirectly, I'm saying you have to find y from here. Are you clear? Okay. Now, every time when I see a fraction, correct? If I'm dealing with a fraction, what I will do is I will try to get it off the denominator. So I times the whole equation with a squared b squared. Got it? So now you will have b squared x squared plus a squared y squared is equal to a squared times b squared. Will that be fine for you? Times every term in the equation with a squared times b squared. Okay? So far, so good? Okay, so now, so my a squared times y squared will be equal to a squared times b squared, take away b squared times x squared. So now you look at here. There is a common factor called b squared. So you factorize it. So I have my a squared times y squared will be equal to b squared times, okay, I have to put in the bracket a squared minus x squared. So my y squared will be equal to b squared divided by a squared times a squared minus x squared. So, but now I want y, correct? So I have to take the square root. So I get y. So my y will be equal to square root of b squared divided by square root of a squared times by square root of a squared minus x squared. And you know that this one, you cannot do anything, but this one you can simplify. So I'm done with part A. Clear? So for this one, you have to show step by step so that I can give you the mark, because the question says show that. Okay, can I go to the next part? Okay, no question. That means I can go to the next part. So next part, we are talking about finding the area. So we know that AX is equal to 4 times of x times y, correct? So now we have to replace the y with x because we cannot have 3 variables in one go. This is 1 variable, 2 variable, 3 variable, cannot. So we replace the y with x. That is b over a square root of a squared minus x squared. So I got 4b over a x times square root of a squared minus x squared. Done. Okay? Can I go on? Okay, to do part C, you have 2 choices. You can use products rule. To do part C, you have 2 choices. You can use products rule, u equal to x, v equal to a squared minus x squared to the power half. Okay, but I'm not going to use this because it's going to make my calculation much more difficult. Okay, so still remember yesterday, I told you in example 14, I can use another method of doing it. So I'm not going to use another method of doing part C. Can I? So part C, I'm going to let kx, another function, okay, be equal to ax, the whole thing squared. Because I know that when kx is maximum, ax will be maximum. So this is a concept I use. Are you clear? And in this case, according to the diagram, here, my x maximum can go is 8. Minimum is 0. Am I right? So this is the domain for x. So this is a domain for x. So I write down the domain. So I know that x must be between 0 and 8. Are you okay? So this is the domain. Because why I need to know the domain? Because afterward I need to draw the sign diagram of k prime t to prove that it is a maximum. Okay, so now I'm going to start to get my function of kx. So it's 4b over ax square root of a squared minus x squared, the whole thing squared. Okay, so I got 16b squared over a squared x squared. When you square root and you square it, so it's the whatever in the square root. So now I can expand this. You see? So now I can find k prime x easily. So can you try to find k prime x? Then try to do it by yourself. I give you 2 minutes. Okay, okay. So it's so much easier compared to you use product rule. Okay, so now this is a number we just write down. You don't have to worry because of the ABC there, okay? So now for this one, multiply by the power take away 1. Multiply by the power take away 1. Okay, so now there is a common factor called 2x. You see there's a 2x here also. All right? So you take out the 2x. 16b squared over a squared times 2x times a squared minus 2x squared. Okay, so I got this. So in order to find the turning point of kx, okay, for this situation, maximum, so k prime x must be equal to 0. So you just put like that. You are allowed to do so. Okay, so now this thing cannot be 0. A number cannot be 0. Okay, so I have 2x equal to 0. So x equal to 0. Or a squared minus 2x squared equal to 0. So my 2x squared will be equal to a squared. So my x squared will be equal to a squared divided by 2. So my x will be equal to square root of a squared divided by square root of 2. So that is a over root 2. Because x must be greater than 0, correct? According to this domain. So now I draw the sign diagram for k prime x. Start from 0 to 8. So this is your a over root 2. Since the question is asked for maximum, so you know here definitely need to be plus and here need to be minus. So you show it. Are you clear? So every time if you like, you find the expression for ax squared, correct? You must write down this statement. Okay. Everyone, are you okay? So I'm going to work with part D. Okay. Every time when we talk about question without numbers, correct? You just be brave enough to work with AB. Okay. So now I'm going to do part D. Okay. They say, so I have to find the optimum area first of the sitting place. Okay. So optimum area. Happen when x equal to a over root 2, correct? So I sub this value into the area formula. That is, area formula is 4b over a times x times by square root of a squared minus x squared. Got it? So now, so a and a cancel. Because one is at the numerator, the other one is at the denominator. So outside here, I have 4b over root 2. Okay. Square root a squared minus, if I expand this, it will be a squared over 2. So this one, I will read it as 1a squared minus half a squared. So what do I left with? Half a squared, correct? So this one also can be written as a squared over 2. That is how you read. So now I have 4b over root 2 square root of a squared over 2. So this will be read as 4b over root 2 square root of a squared over root 2. So I end up with 4BA over root 2 times root 2 is 2. Okay. So this is 2BA. So therefore, percentage will be 2BA divided by the area of the ellipse is pi AB times 100%. So you see, at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about the unknown. It can be cancelled off. So it will be, take out your calculator, 2 divided by pi times 100. So the answer will be less than 65%. Because pi is 3.142, 2/3 is 0.667. So what is the answer? Okay, 63.7%. So next time, if you see a question without numbers, correct, you just patiently work it out. Then you know that everything will take care of itself. You don't have to worry that, I don't know what is the value of A, then what is the value of B, then how to count. You don't have to worry. The question at the end of it will take care of itself. Are you clear? So you have to trust the question that it can work. Even you don't know what is the value of A, what is the value of B. That is how maths work. If you know your method is correct, at the end of the day, you sure can get the answer one. Okay, so when we talk about product rule, so your U prime will be 1, your V prime, remember, still remember? Okay, copy down the whole thing. Then time by the power, the derivative of the power, okay? So now we put into our product rule formula, 750 we put outside. Okay, V U prime plus U V prime. Okay, always remember, factorize out the common factor here. Okay, so we have this 750 e to the power of negative 1.5t, open bracket, 1 here, this one become negative 1.5t. Done. Okay, at what time is the anesthetic most effective? The word most effective means maximum. So maximum happen when the rate is equal to 0. So always remind yourself, optimum happen means the rate must be 0. But the rate 0 doesn't mean it's optimum. See or not? The reverse is not true, not always true. Okay, so now we know that 750 cannot be equal to 0. E to the power negative 1.5t equal to 0. This one, no solution. So you see, this thing is made up of the products of 3 things. So in order for it to be 0, one of them must be 0. So the last one will be 1 minus 1.5t equal to 0. So t equal to 1 divided by 1.5, that is 2/3 hours. So at what time is the anesthetic most effective? So we have to draw the sign diagram of E prime t to show that it is a maximum. So from 0 onward. So 2/3 is here. So don't have to purposely go and check the sign. It's plus and minus. So this is the answer, proof. And drawing this sign diagram is a must. This sign diagram is a must, huh? Must draw. But will the mark be awarded? The answer is no. If I want to give you mark, there is a bonus to you. So if you didn't draw, I can deduct your mark. You get what I mean? The analogy of it is your responsibility to prove that it is a maximum. So responsibility you will not be paid for. Do y'all get what I mean? Okay, when you use your graphic calculator and sketch the graph, I told you already, there are a few special features you must jot down, correct? So you will get a graph like that. You know, this is a search function. You will get a graph. Okay, you'll get a graph like that. So you have to tell me the coordinate of the maximum point. Okay, inflection point not necessary. Then you have to tell me the coordinate of the end point. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the coordinate of the maximum point? 0.667. And what is the effectiveness? When t equal to 0.667, can someone tell me? Okay, 183.94. So it's 184. Okay, thank you. Okay, when t equal to 4, then what is the value? When t equal to 4, what is the value? Can someone give me? Hello? Okay, 7.436. So 7.44. Okay, so if I come up with this question, correct, in the exam, and I give you 3 marks for this one, that is how I will mark. You must label the axis. Okay, this one correct, 1 mark. Shape correct, 1 mark. Axis, 1 mark. The point, the end point, and the maximum point. That is how you go. Okay, now we want to talk about this one. So we are going to solve this one by graphical method. We are not going to solve by inequality. I'm not going to say that ET is greater than 70. Yeah, that is what you're supposed to look for, T. But this one, if you solve by inequality, it will be very, very difficult to solve. Okay, so we are going to use it by graphical method. Okay, I believe everyone, your Y1 is ET, am I right? Your Y2, Y3 is your DDX, am I right? So we are not going to touch that. So we are going to put into Y4 equal to 70. Then you go to graph. Okay, then you will see on the same graph, there is extra line come out like that. Got that? There's your Y4 equal to 70. Got that? So you see, I want ET to be more than 70, correct? So that means the graph of ET must be above the blue line. So that means this is the crucial point. Point A and point B. So I have to find T1 and T2. So these are called point of intersection. So the period will be T2 minus T1. Okay, do you know how to get the coordinates of intersection point from your graphic calculator? Can someone enlighten me how to get? You can on your mic and tell me how to get the point of intersection.
Second trace and then there is intersect.
Yes, you are right. Second trace. Then you will see the word intersection. Then you just bring the point near to the point that you want. Okay, good. So may I know what is T1 and what is T2? So to do this, it's better to use graphical method than to use solver. Huh? Okay, what is T1? 0.110. Okay, what is T2? The speed of your using the graphic calculator still not fast enough, 2.06. So therefore, how long? So the length of the operation is equal to 2.06 minus 0.11. So that means equal to 1.8. No, 1.95. So approximately 2 hours. All right? Okay. So are you okay?